Telesto is bugged. Everybody knows this. But I have, through the science known as dumb luck, have found something out about this bug that maybe nobody else has figured out. Let's get stupid with it. Welcome to Stupid Builds, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. Today I have 5 builds, which promises to either supply you with lethal combinations to better equip you to outlast the meta until Lightfall, or will give you entertainment value as you watch this video like found footage of a one-man slow descent into madness driven by the cruel, malevolent hive mind known as chat. Our first build is a build that gave nostalgia for something that doesn't even exist. For a Meteor Freak, this Old West Hunter build is a build which so perfectly encapsulates the feeling of a Western frontier that I contracted dysentery at the end of my play session. Quick Swapping is a stubby little gremlin that continues to stub the collective toes of the quote-unquote sweats in the PvP scene. As long as perks and exotics and mods that grant us abilities to increase our swap speed exist, the ability for us to make builds that pantomime an Akimbo 44 Magnum from Modern Warfare 2 will also exist. But why does this funny Destiny man like Ariana's Vow, Lucky Pants, and a Dire Promise with Rangefinder at Snapshot so much in one particular build? Well, my poor uneducated kill streak tally markets because the swap speed is so fast it outright beats the TTK of nearly every other single weapon in its range. This build was so incredibly fun, it has become a mainstay in my loadout. The swap speed that you can get between an Ariana's headshot into even just a body shot from this 140 hand cannon not only grants you a level of consistency and lethality, but it gives you so much flexibility into how you're able to come into any gunfight. You can do so much of this, it is astonishing. I am not seeing more people use this. This setup right here, I feel sets the Forerunner on its ass. If you're looking for something to beat out the TTK of the very popular Forerunner right now and still uses the same ammo economy, perhaps even better, this is the way to go. The only downside to this is that it does require a bit more precision and a slightly different playstyle than you might be used to, but I can promise you, if you get good at this, you will beat so many people. It's gonna get you some hate mail. Offense 4, defense 8, versatility 6, survivability 5, speed 5, consistency 6, flavor S tier. I am having so much fun with this. I took this build, this was from a few streams ago, and have been playing with this ever since. This has not left my hunter. It is so much fun. Seriously, if you're looking for something different for hunters, try this out. And viability B-. It is a little hard to use and it doesn't have very good offense, but his defense is almost unmatched. And now, as a longtime human being and an Earth dweller, I know that trace rifles in PvP are like unicorns. Rare, mythical, and if they ever did exist, they would be immediately hunted to the point of extinction. My visceral and utter hatred for these weapons is only matched by my chat's enjoyment in watching me suffer through builds using them. This build was someone's legitimate attempt to actually get me to enjoy a trace rifle for once, and not just any trace rifle. My America's most hated top 10 worst apology letter canceled this weapon on Twitter trace rifle, the Ruinous Effigy. The promise at a redemption arc for this came from Frosty Void, who paired this with a hand cannon from the last build and the Renewal Grasp. Of course, my fight or flight response instinctively kicked in when this ball gripping build appeared in my loadout, but once the nausea and the vomiting subsided, I was actually surprised at the legitimacy this build brought. Yes, trace rifles are still not great. Yes, they probably could still use a buff. Yes, the Ruinous Effigies, a bit of a meme, but with everything being considered, with everything being out on the table, this was the most enjoyment I've ever gotten out of a trace rifle, and not just any trace rifle, my least favored trace rifle in the game, the Ruinous Effigy. The ball, I think, needs some love. I feel like when we have things like Cryosthesia, which I know is not necessarily the most popular, but when it has the ability to effectively guarantee a follow-up kill, this needs to also do that. Now, this is relatively close, but it just is missing a few marks. I don't have suggestions at this time. Personally, I'm still suffering from the headache that this build brought on to me anyway, but if you are looking for a build that uses a trace rifle, this is the way to go. The Ruinous Effigy mixed pretty well with the Renewal Grasp that gave me that little bit of survivability that I needed in order to position myself in such a way to actually get this trace rifle to work, and more importantly, to slam, wham, welcome to the jam, space jam my way with the Ruinous Effigy ball. I love the idea of this Ruinous Effigy. This was definitely the best chance it had, and it actually did okay. Offense 5, defense 6, versatility 6, survivability 7, speed 5, consistency 5, flavor A-, viability C+. All right. let's talk about Telesto. At first, when I was told to run this build, I assumed it was, as is tradition, for the meme. But nevertheless, as everyone in the Destiny community has already found out, this so-called bug is actually working as intended for once. Maybe. At this point, the true nature of the omnipotent Lovecraftian eldritch deity that this fusion rifle is questionable. Is this really a feature, or did Telesto set Bungie's headquarters on fire and then send an anonymous note to Dave Bungie with the words, "You're next," to make sure that it stayed in the meta, or at least wasn't forgotten about? At this point, I'm afraid to ask because I'm positive this weapon is listening to me more than that black van that's been parked outside of my house for the last 3 weeks. And yes, I have insights into this weapon. This weapon whispered secrets in my ear, that like soft nudges in the back of my brain. It spoke clearly. It uttered truths that no other content creator has had the joy of realizing. This, of course, happened when we performed the Telesto summoning ritual of firing 12 of them all at the same time at the back of Burnout. What secret did this gun say to me? What knowledge did it reveal to me? It whispered softly and said, "Holy shit. Y'all are thirsty for content." Yeah, I don't have any insight on this, other than that this Telesto bug is so brought back so many people to the community. I really do hope that there is something tied to this, but yeah, we're a little desperate for content. Telesto approves that. It was funny. We got 12 of us all to fire at each other in a private match. It was all right. It's kind of like playing dodgeball with slow motion. It was a little weird, but the build itself was fine. I mean, we're using something really standard here. We're using the one-eyed mask, a high-impact pulse rifle with Desperado, the generic setup for a Sentinel Titan for PvP. All in all, not really a whole lot of surprises here. Like I said, I do hope that something comes of this Telesto quote-unquote bug, but, you know, only time will tell. Anyway, offense 4, defense 7, versatility 5, survivability 7, speed 5, consistency 6, flavor C-, viability A. Look, I get it. You're a Titan that is more sophisticated than the rest. You're not like the other girls. You punch with both your right fist and your left fist. You need something that freshens up your Crucible playtime. You want to let the person on the other side of the screen know that, yes, it is personal. Presenting an age-old build that hasn't been talked about much since Arc 3.0, Peacekeepers and a double SMG. Definitely not the most creative build, but frankly, when half of the lobbies are Lorenz drivers, Gerfalcon, Harburg hunters, or initial D-drifting warlocks with insta-killing slide melees, and any other permutation of the top 10 weapons, this bog standard build is a creative build. I was not expecting the amount of fun I had with using this build, but the speed boost that I ended up getting out of basically permanently having an SMG out because I was running both an Icarus SMG and the Huckleberry ended up being great. I really enjoyed this. I think Arc Titans, once everything has settled down and some nerfs have happened, will still come out on top as like the best overall Arc class because the punch is just way too good, and that's what Titans are built around, so there's way too much support for this playstyle persisting far past this current meta. I absolutely enjoyed this build. If you are looking for something that is different and really cranks the speed up to a 12, not just even an 11, a 12, give this a try. Again, I know it's not the most creative thing right now, but realistically, when everybody else is running around with everything else, it works. Offense 8, defense 4, versatility 3, survivability 6, speed 8, consistency 8, flavor B-. It is just double primary SMG on the Peacekeepers at the end of the day, and viability B-. Not gonna be the best, but you're not gonna hate it. But like the bipedal Pokemon, this chat sometimes needs to remind me of the total depravity of humanity and the fact that some of you need Jesus, because what better way to end my streaming session than with a build intentionally designed to sadistically torture the user? Or at least, that was the plan. You see, when Duke Kempe gave me this intentionally awful build, little did he know that I've been playing Modern Warfare 2022 and nothing is more torturous than fighting skill-based match-made lobbies against 14-year-old TTV streamers. My initial hesitation of the legitimacy of my skill and this build's ability to actually get kills vanished quickly, as I realized that as long as you are using a Titan and a shotgun, the square peg round hole issue can be solved anytime as long as you punch it hard enough. This build is a double special loadout, which ironically probably has a little bit more viability in the meta just because of the special ammo changes. You're actually picking up 2 rounds as opposed to 1 off a special ammo brick, and if I was gonna have to pick 2 special weapons, especially for an aggressive build, this probably would be it. Witherhoard is fantastic at locking down zones, as well as being an okay option for sort of like a close range shutdown tool if I absolutely need it, like I run out of shotgun ammo. And the shotgun I'm using is a sunset weapon. It's an arc shotgun, slug shotgun called the Good Bone Structure. I made a video a long time ago about it, but I love this shotgun. I think it's quick draw opening shot if I remember correctly, but this weapon just feels so good. I wish this weapon were to come back. I don't know if I have anybody else who's ever used this gun who understands what I'm saying right now and understands how powerful this weapon really was back in the day, or rather is, as long as you're willing to bust it out, but this gun is great. This build, I was expecting to be awful, but you know what? It wasn't bad. If you're legitimately looking for something to shake it up for yourself, just like the last build, give this a try. Offense 7, defense 6, versatility 6, survivability 5, speed 6, consistency 4, flavor A+, viability B-. If you like these types of stupid builds videos, check this one out on screen right now. Bless your faces and deuces.